Let me start with something most people get completely wrong. When you apply for a US visa, you imagine one process, one timeline, one waiting period. You think you fill out a form, schedule an interview, sit in front of a consular officer, and a few days later, done. Visa in hand. America, here you come. That is not how this works. Getting a US visa in 2026 is a multi-stage process, and understanding each stage separately is the only way to actually plan your application. Because each stage has its own timeline, its own risk of delay, and its own rules. If you treat it all as one vague processing time, you will either run out of time, get caught off guard, or make a mistake that costs you months. So today I'm going to walk you through exactly how the process works, why delays happen, and, most importantly, 5 real strategies that can actually reduce your waiting time. This is not recycled advice. This is based on how the system works right now, what the State Department actually publishes, and what experienced applicants are doing to get ahead. Stay with me, because understanding this could make a significant difference in your timeline. Let us start with the most important concept in this entire video. Most people hear the phrase visa processing time and think it means the time from the day they apply to the day they get their visa. One number. Simple. But there are actually 2 completely separate timelines, and confusing them is what leads to missed flights, missed opportunities, and real frustration. The first timeline is your appointment wait time. This is how long you will wait before you even sit in front of a consular officer for your interview. This is the scheduling delay, and in 2026, it is by far the biggest bottleneck for most applicants around the world. The second timeline is the decision processing time. How long it takes after your interview for the embassy to approve or deny your visa and return your passport. These are measured separately. They are caused by different things. They are controlled by different parts of the US government. If you only take one thing from this video, let it be this. In 2026, the biggest delay for most applicants is not the decision after the interview. It is simply getting the interview scheduled in the first place. So how long are we actually talking about? The US Department of State updates its global visa wait time data every month. And right now, at many of the world's busiest consular posts, those numbers are significant. Depending on where you are applying from, appointment wait times for a B1, B2 tourist or business visa can range from a few months to well over a year. High-demand countries, including India, Pakistan, Canada, Mexico, Brazil, and parts of Africa and Latin America, tend to have the longest waits. Lower-demand countries often have appointments available within weeks. In India, for example, wait times vary considerably by city. Some posts are currently showing waits of several months, while others are shorter, which is why choosing the right location to apply from, if you have that option, actually matters. For applicants in Pakistan, both Islamabad and Karachi have seen extended wait periods for B1, B2 visas in recent months. The State Department updates these numbers monthly, and they can shift in either direction, so checking the official wait time tool regularly is essential. The key point is this. These are not short delays you can manage by being organized at the last minute. These waits require you to plan significantly in advance. Now, why has it gotten this way? Several factors are working together. The first is straightforward: demand. More people around the world want to visit, study in, and work in the United States than ever before. The volume of applications at many posts has grown steadily, while the physical capacity of embassies, interview rooms, appointment slots, staffing, has not always kept pace. The second factor is that in recent years, security screening requirements have increased across the board. Reviews that add time to individual cases, from background checks to digital vetting, mean each application takes longer to process, which reduces the number of people a consulate can see per day. And the third factor, which has become more prominent in 2025 and 2026, is an overall tightening of immigration policy under the current administration. Enhanced vetting, additional documentation requirements, and broader screening measures have added layers to the process that simply were not there a few years ago. None of this makes approval impossible, but it does make preparation and timing more important than ever. Let me spend a moment on something that surprises many first-time applicants. What happens between your interview and when you actually get your visa? Most people assume that once they walk out of the consular office, the hard part is over. For many applicants, that is true. If your visa is approved at the interview, the physical stamping and return of your passport typically takes a few business days. In some countries, it can be done within 3 to 5 working days. But for a portion of applicants, the interview is not the end. It is the beginning of a second waiting period called administrative processing. Administrative processing, formally issued under Section 221G of the US Immigration and Nationality Act, means the consular officer could not finalize a decision at the time of the interview. It is not a denial. It simply means the case needs additional review before a final answer can be given. Your application remains active and may still be approved. What causes it? There are several common triggers. Missing documents. If you did not bring complete financial records, employment letters, or education certificates, the officer may hold the file until those arrive. Prior immigration complications, arrests, or questions about your background can trigger further review. Travel history that raises questions. Working in a technical or research field that requires additional security clearance. This is sometimes called a visa mantis review. And in the current environment, social media content or inconsistencies between your application and your online presence can also be a factor. Social media review is worth understanding specifically. The State Department has required visa applicants to provide their social media handles on applications for several years now. Consular officers may review that information as part of the overall assessment. This is not new in principle, but the scope of which applicants are subject to it and how thoroughly it is reviewed has expanded in recent years. Being transparent and consistent on your application, including the social media section, is simply the right approach. How long does administrative processing take? There is no fixed timeline. Official guidance points to most cases resolving within 60 days, but some cases, particularly those involving security-related reviews, can take longer. In most cases, there is no mechanism to speed it up. The honest version of that statement is, in most situations, administrative processing cannot be expedited, except in rare, documented emergency circumstances. If your case goes into administrative processing, the practical advice from immigration attorneys is consistent. Respond quickly and completely to any document requests from the consulate. Monitor your status through the official tracking portal. Wait at least 60 days before making a formal inquiry, unless you have a genuine emergency. And if your case has been pending for an extended period with no updates, that is when speaking with an immigration attorney about your options becomes worth doing. Now, let us get into the 5 strategies that actually work. I want to be clear about what these are. They are not shortcuts or loopholes. They are legitimate ways to work within the system more effectively than most people do. The first and most important strategy is simply this: apply as early as possible. This sounds obvious. It is not actually practiced by most people, because most people underestimate how long the wait will be until they are already in the middle of it. The State Department explicitly advises early application. Appointment slots fill up, and at busy posts, they fill up fast. If you are planning to travel to the United States 6 months from now, and the wait time at your nearest embassy is already 6 months, by the time you read this, you may already be at risk of missing your window. The moment you know you will need a US visa, and I mean the moment you know, complete your DS-160 application form, pay your MRV fee, and schedule your interview appointment. Do not wait until your travel dates are confirmed. Do not wait until you have every document in hand. Get into the scheduling system immediately, because the queue is the bottleneck. Everything else you need for the interview, you can continue preparing while you wait for your appointment date to arrive. This one habit, applying early, is the single most effective thing most applicants can do to protect their timeline. The second strategy is one that experienced applicants use regularly, but that most first-time applicants never discover until it is too late. Check the appointment scheduling system frequently for earlier slots. Here is how this works. Visa appointments get cancelled and rescheduled constantly. When someone cancels their slot, it opens back up in the system. Consulates also release new appointment batches on a rolling basis. These slots are not announced or advertised, they simply appear, and they disappear just as quickly, sometimes within hours, because other applicants are checking too. This means that if you log into the appointment portal regularly, ideally once or twice a day, and check for earlier available dates, you may find an opening that significantly cuts your wait time. Moving to an earlier appointment is allowed and encouraged. The State Department's own guidance explicitly tells applicants to check back regularly and reschedule if a better slot becomes available. For Pakistan, the relevant portal is usetraveldocs.com. For many other countries, it is ceac.state.gov, or the country-specific scheduling platform. Checking at different times of day, morning, midday, and evening, tends to catch different batches of openings. Applicants who treat this as a consistent daily habit have reported reducing their wait by months. It takes discipline, but no skill, just persistence. The third strategy is less commonly known. If you have the legal option to apply at a consulate with a shorter wait time, it is worth seriously considering. Wait times are not uniform, even within the same country. Different cities, different consulates, different posts. They each have their own appointment availability based on local demand and capacity. In India, for example, wait times currently vary significantly across cities. Choosing to apply at a post with shorter availability, if you are in a position to do so, can translate into a materially faster timeline. Beyond that, under certain circumstances, it is legally permitted to apply at a US consulate in a country other than your own, as long as you are legally present there. If you are studying, working, or legally residing in another country, you may be eligible to apply at the US consulate in that country. This is a recognized part of how the US visa system works, not a workaround. The consulate retains discretion to decline third country applications, and you must be genuinely, lawfully present, not simply passing through. But for applicants who have this option, the difference in wait times can be considerable. This strategy does not apply to everyone, but it is worth knowing about and worth discussing with an immigration attorney if your situation might make it relevant. The fourth strategy is something that should be simple, but accounts for a surprising number of delays and rejections. Complete your DS-160 form with complete accuracy and review it carefully before you submit. The DS-160 is the online non-immigrant visa application, the form that starts your entire case. It covers your personal background, travel history, employment, education, and family information. It also includes a section on your social media presence, which you must fill out honestly and completely. Even small errors on the DS-160 can create problems. An inconsistency between your form and your supporting documents raises questions about your reliability as an applicant. A mistake in your travel history or a missing prior visa application can complicate your interview. In some cases, errors require you to file a corrected form, rebook your appointment, and lose the slot you had. In the current environment, where scrutiny of applications is higher than it has been in previous years, accuracy matters more than ever. Here is what to check specifically. Names must match your passport exactly. No abbreviations, no informal spellings. Dates must be correct across the board. Dates of birth, employment dates, travel dates. Prior US visa applications, any previous denials, and any overstays must be disclosed accurately. And on the social media section, list the accounts you actually use. Omitting an active account that a consular officer later finds is a credibility problem far more damaging than anything the account might contain. If any question on the DS-160 is unclear, consult an official resource before submitting, not after. The fifth strategy is one that many eligible applicants simply do not know about: requesting an expedited appointment. If you have a genuine, urgent, time-sensitive reason for needing a US visa sooner than the standard appointment timeline allows, you may be able to request an expedited interview date. The categories that consulates typically consider include a medical emergency, either yours or an immediate family member's, urgent business travel with a documented, time-sensitive need, an upcoming student program start date where the standard appointment would arrive too late, and certain humanitarian situations. Requesting an expedited appointment is a formal process. You submit a written request explaining your urgent situation, and the consulate evaluates it. Approval is not guaranteed. Many requests are not granted. But for applicants who have a real, documented need, it is a legitimate option that can move your timeline from months away to days or weeks. Submit the request as soon as you identify the urgent need. The earlier you ask, the more lead time the consulate has to respond. And make your case with specifics and documentation. A vague claim of urgency is less compelling than a documented one. For work visa applicants dealing with H-1B, L-1 or O-1 petitions, premium processing is available at the USCIS petition stage. This is a paid option that speeds up the government's decision on your petition. It does not affect your consular appointment wait, but it can reduce delays at the earlier stage of the work visa process. Check the current USCIS fee schedule for the updated premium processing costs. Let me bring all of this together. The US visa process has two main timelines: the appointment wait and the post-interview processing. The appointment wait is the bigger challenge for most applicants right now, with waits ranging from several months to over a year at many high-demand consular posts. After the interview, most approved visas come through in a few business days, but administrative processing can extend that timeline significantly and unpredictably for some cases. The environment in 2026 is more demanding than it was a few years ago. Screening requirements have increased. Applications receive more scrutiny. Preparation and accuracy matter more than ever. The 5 strategies that give you the best chance of staying on schedule are: apply the moment you know you need a visa. Check the scheduling portal regularly for earlier appointment openings. Consider whether a lower demand consulate is an option for your situation. Complete your DS-160 accurately and completely. And use the expedited appointment process if you have a genuine qualifying reason. None of these are tricks. They are the legitimate ways that well-prepared applicants work within the system more effectively than those who approach it passively. The US visa system is not easy to navigate in 2026, but with the right approach, it is navigable. That is the real truth about US visa processing times.